Hello and welcome, everyone. We are live. We're going live with volume 7 of our second season, which is currently called the SFF News and Interviews podcast. Previously, it was called the Necro News and Interviews podcast. So I am live here with a very lovely lady, multi-talented person, Renmeleon, also known as Anna Maria Selvaggio. So if you would like to say a really quick hi, go ahead and do that.
Sure. Hi, I am Anna Maria Selvaggio, otherwise known as Renmeleon, which is short for the Renaissance chameleon. I'm a nerd of all trades, and I've been working in several industries for about 40 years now. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. And I am your host. I'm Heather Dewey Pettet, and I am an editor, author, and artist. And I like to say what ties all three of those things together is my love of fantasy and science fiction. SFF. So before we go into the interview, I begin by talking about news and events in the book publishing industry. Let's see, my focus for this week is bringing something up. Okay, a couple of things for this month include some calls for submissions. I have 3 actually. One is called, the magazine is called Weird, that is WEIRD, Lit Magazine, and they have a call for submissions. And according to their Instagram, and I'll pop all the links in the description on YouTube and at ASAP. So it says submissions for our fall 2026 issue will be open July 15th through August 15th. So that does still apply. You've got a few more days if you have something. They're looking for stories under 3,000 words in the following styles and moods: absurdist, ambiguous, avant-garde, bleak, dark, deadpan, existential, experimental, grotesque, hopeful. Yeah, those 2 words together. Says horror, humorous, literary, magical realism, noir, psychological, slipstream, speculative, supernatural, and weird. So their Instagram goes on to say that we want stories with a strong voice and encourage non-realist narratives and settings. And you can visit weirdlitmag.com/submit for guidelines. Okay, and this other one that I have in front of me, it is called Fragments Through Time. It is an anthology from Arcane Realms Press, and the the author who runs that press is called Rachel D. Adams, and the promo says, "What would you do if you could take back time? Explore time through prose, poetry, and art." Submissions are open from August through October 2026. A little bit more. The movement of objects relative to one another is time. That's the definition, but it has become so much more. It heals, yet it is our enemy. Is it linear, cyclical, or simply chaos? Do you see time as moving too quickly, trudging along to torture you, or as an illusion? can it be manipulated? Could we bend ourselves around it to find our proper path? A path we missed. Do we use it to get the most out of life, or do we just waste it? What would you do if you could take back time? They're looking for short stories, flash fiction, poetry, and drabbles, quote, featuring your creative work on the theme of time. And again, I will pop that link in the description. And then the last one I have here is, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, it's an Irish word, Iontas, I believe. It's IONTAS, Iontas Magazine.
I think so.
Yep. Do believe I know I saw it in their Instagram feed, so that's what I remember. Just going by that. And so their submissions opened on July 31st.
You muted. You muted.
Muted? No? Maybe I'm having an issue with my mic.
Okay, there you are. You're back.
Oh, good. So it's not their first issue, but they've only had one or two prior. This issue is called Folklore. Let's see. Folklore by Iontas Magazine is a multidisciplinary creative magazine exploring the theme folklore. We are searching for creatives to reimagine old wives' tales, folk tales, and ancient myths. We are interested in hearing the stories that span across generations, the legends sown into the soil. The soil we walk, and the superstitions your granny swore by. And their guidelines. We are searching for poets, writers, artists, and creatives to contribute to folklore at Iontas Magazine. Okay. We know creativity comes in many forms. As long as your submission can be photographed or scanned in high resolution, we want to see it. Written works are limited to 950 words, and poetry is limited to 40 lines. All work should be previously unpublished. Okay. And they invite both local and international creatives, derived from the observations of Ireland. Always free to submit. And I really won't mention anything here that I probably won't mention anything that charges a fee to submit to an anthology or a contest, but I do know that there are some legit contests that do charge a small fee for submitting. Okay, that is my focus for today for that portion of the podcast. And now we're going to just kind of recalibrate here and start talking to Renmeleon. So you've already introduced yourself, and we had talked about looking at the ideas around writers' rules, the rules of writing, the quote unquote rules of writing, and how to kind of subvert them. Let's see, just going back over some notes. Okay. So I remember we were talking about what you write. Did you want to go into that first? You write a lot of paranormal.
Lately, yes.
Lately, yes.
The main one that I've been working on is Stalemate, which the cover is right there. Is a paranormal thriller. And I have that one coming out soon, but I have a novelette based on the backstory from that. That was originally my thesis script. I do a lot of research, and paranormal has the paranormal has always been an interest for my husband and I, and so diving down rabbit holes was pretty extensive for that. Um, Speaking of hubby, he is in chat, Popper Night. But I have been trying to push myself out of my comfort zone on both reading and writing, and did a year-long microfiction experiment with my Twitch crew and did theme. It was genre, location, and item based on their prompts. So I've got 52 stories that are the gamut. It's horror, sci-fi, paranormal, western, mystery, magical realism, and any combination in between. So I've been kind of branching out a little bit and pushing outside the normal for me.
Right. So, and so you had said in conversations prior, multiple conversations prior, yeah, anyway, moving on. You had said that if you know, you know. You had said that you liked that you can within those genres that you can take current guidelines or things that are expected within these genres, and but grounded in reality as well, and push it off a cliff.
I was always taught to write what you know, but with enough time and enough research, you can know a lot. And since I like diving down rabbit holes head first and figuring it out on the way down, I tend to write what I know and then slightly push it off the cliff. And by the time the reader is off the cliff, they've already bought into it. So there are specific mechanics in writing and techniques that I don't break, but as far as the rules on formatting for poetry, formatting for children's books, or just research in general and kind of pushing the line with that, I do that often.
Yeah, I seem to be doing that as well, actually. So yeah, and you also talked about genre expectations, like the haunting of objects and similar, and then adding in twists and turns.
So I have particularly in Stalemate, I have a collection of items in the book that are featured that are real items with real histories, but I've added in intellectual or residual haunts on most of them. So they each have their own story. And I tend to do an educational spin on most of my projects. So I'm developing a actual standalone journal that is one of the characters. He had them in the book, and so there's actually a real educational component with all these items in the collection that's a standalone just from the book. So if you're reading the book, you can actually have his journal too.
That is so cool. I love that idea. Okay, now we're also talking about basically our theme for this show, which is using the rules as guidelines, and within a certain previous previous conversation, we may have talked like pirates for a few minutes. Haha. And And then you also talked, yes, we talked about the right what to know. Let's see. So, do you have anything else you want to say that might link all this together?
When I teach my classes, whether it's writing or map illustration or drawing, I teach technique, and I'm very big on that. But I also tell the students to break the rules and make it their own. So depending on the topic, writing, obviously you have specific formatting and specific mechanics that you have to adhere to, especially if you want to get published. But it's how you go about it differs. And honestly, if you're not having fun, why are you working on it? So I try to make it fun for my students as well. And that keeps them inspired and keeps them going even when they feel like they're stuck.
Oh, I absolutely agree with that. And let's see. What else? We were also talking about what is your favorite? I like to pop this in the stream. What do you have a favorite turn of phrase, a favorite word, something that just reaches out to you that you've seen classically throughout the genres that you have or are currently writing in or have, anything that really sticks in your mind about that?
So we were talking about favorite words at one point, and tatterdemalion is one of my favorites, and it came up in Victorian era and steampunk in particular, some things that I had read. And it's somebody in raggedy clothes, somebody unkempt, and it's just fun to say. There are certain words that are fun to say. You hear a lot of jokes about people pronouncing riboflavin, and tatterdemalion is one of mine.
And then can you say it again, because your mic is kind of going in and out a little bit?
Tatterdemalion. It's TATTERDEMALLION. Tatterdemalion, like tattered clothes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I love that so much. Love how it sounds. Do you know what the origin is? It almost sounds like a French origin.
I want to say it was 1600s.
1600s.
I actually pulled it up last time we were talking about it.
Right.
Let me take a look real quick. I'll let you know. Go ahead and ask me something else if you want. Yeah, I'll look it up in the meantime.
So anyway, let's see. And then do you have, let's see. Okay. What are you reading currently?
I generally read 3 different books at a time. I have a really long to be read list. And real quick, tatterdemalion, I was right, 1600s.
Okay.
Now, it's also ragamuffin is the other variant of that.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm reading Once and Future Witches fiction.
Witches. Okay.
Is
my brain wanted to fill in King. Okay.
I want to say, I'm trying to remember the author now. But Once and Future Witches is the fiction that I'm reading currently. And I'll do usually something for research and then a nonfiction. Or if the genre is completely different, then I'll maybe do another fiction. But Once in Future Witches, and then I'm reading a 12-week year for writers, which I had accidentally bought. I thought it was the original 12-week year. I didn't know there was a writer's version of it.
Right.
And I've got both books going simultaneously, but I use a kind of modified variant of that along with a funnel planner that helps to keep me on track for my ADD brain. And then the third one I haven't picked up in a week. I can't remember, but I know it's nonfiction and I don't have it in here. It's in the other room. So, but
okay. I'm trying to pop a couple of things in the chat if I can here. And then
Alex
I've
Harrow.
also been.
Sorry, Alex Harrow is Once in Future Witches.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay. Sorry about that. Hold on 1 second. I will pop that in the chat.
Oh, and I do have an audiobook, The Miniaturist.
I don't think I used. Not quite sure if that worked. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's. I have I don't know. It's like a weird link. If I have to, I'll put it in the description. Let's see. And the other thing I always ask is, and where can we find you? And do you have any other news related to you and publishing wise or other things?
I have quite a bit actually, but my fiction debut was not Stalemate like I thought it was going to be. It's actually the novelette. Okay. It's Pond to King 4. So I did a mass market size, which most of the big publishers only do trade now. But I had always wanted to do this size for a long time. So all 3 of the novelettes for Stalemate are going to be this size. Lexington, Kentucky on August 22nd, the Joseph Beth Booksellers is going to be featuring my imprint, which is Dragonfly Press Publishing, and 7 of my 9 authors and I will be there signing books for a couple of hours from 1 to 3. So we have that event coming up. I have my last two Crows shows. I've been doing juried mid-range handmade art shows out of Boone Tavern in Berea, Kentucky for the last 5 years. And the goal was to do 5 years in Berea and then to open a storefront. So we are slated to open a storefront in Louisville next year, which I'm really excited about.
Very cool.
And
congratulations.
we got our last 2 shows. Thank you. It's been a long time coming. I've always wanted to open a store. So, but those shows are September 6th and December 6th, which are the first 2 Sundays of those months, and of September and December. And I've just been cranking books out for clients and had some stuff I had to work through today. So it's been a day. I'm going officially to get ice cream after that. But
that sounds good.
Yeah, but it's been a lot of fun with the people that have crossed paths with me. And we're, of course, at Imaginarium every July. I'm a speaker and a panelist and teach a workshop there.
And which one
you can find me? That's Imaginarium in July. They've got it set for next year already. New hotel. They're going to be at the Crowne Plaza in Louisville. And we're looking forward to that. But you can find me as Renmeleon everywhere online, renmeleon.com. Linktree/Renmeleon, or my main blog is my Ko-fi, which is ko-fi.com/Renmeleon. And that's also my shop and where I've got all my, where I have all my ebook links and everything. Boop, lost camera.
Oops.
And I'll mute myself and type it in chat here.
Oh, okay. I was getting that, but go right ahead. That's what happened. Take your time because we're running short. We're not running long at all. Which is surprising. My shows tend to run a little long.
I'm trying to think of some of the other stuff that we've talked about. I know we were talking about self-publishing.
Mm-hmm.
The books we were reading. Favorite authors.
Favorite authors, yes. Do you have a favorite, or
mine?
favorite
yes.
within your genre or within normal? I meant
kind of, sorta. Nick Bantock, Bantock. He did the Griffin and Sabine series, and I found him when I jumped in headfirst into paper art back in the mid 90s. He's been a cover designer since the 60s and then started writing his own books. Griffin and Sabine is tremendous. I got copies of most of everything he's done, and I had the pleasure of interviewing him for my magazine at one point a couple of years ago, and his wife waved him off when it was at the end of the 45 minutes that we'd scheduled so that he could talk to me again continue talking to me for another 20 minutes. We were having too much fun. So
that's very cool.
He's up in Nova Scotia, but I'm hoping to eventually get up there and take a workshop with him. But he does all types of art, and if you get to see his work, it's pretty impressive. He does a lot of different mediums. Mixed media collage is one of my favorite things to do, and he's been my muse for that for decades now.
Very cool. Yeah, I like to do mixed media myself. Let's see.
I'm not happy unless I'm knuckle deep in paint and glue.
Yeah, I was cleaning out my desk today because I was looking for something. I have my art desk is it was a piece of furniture that was my mother's, and it's a vintage sewing cabinet, for lack of a better word, or stand, and in which there was no machine in it, and what they did was they had the piece that drops up and down. They had that I don't know how they did it, but anyway, looks like they gutted the whole thing, painted the whole thing, and then put it back together. And I wasn't even sure if it popped open anymore. I was like, I thought this thing popped open. I was on a live stream a few years ago, and I was wrestling with it. Well, I'm going to try because people were like, go ahead, go for it. And so it was just really stuck because the wood had swollen or something. And anyway, I was pulling out all my watercolors. I've got of my stash in there, so that's where my watercolor stash goes. And so I was like, oh yeah,
I actually have one of the sewing machines that goes in that
because it's almost always closed. So so that was fun. It's because I wanted to pull something out of there. Yeah, so yeah, same. Yeah, I like watercolor and just mixed media. I like to combine stamping with other things. With backgrounds, a lot of gel press backgrounds these days. Actually, I kind of almost prefer it these days. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I like
sometimes I'll make a scene.
I started out with watercolor, and gouache is now my new addiction. And I like stamps too. I worked in a rubber stamp store when I was a kid,
Oh,
and
wow. That's
I'm
cool.
actually I'm
Holy,
actually
holy cow.
designing my own. So I'm gonna be this one's for two crows,
Well, phooey.
and I use this to stamp on
Wow.
our bags.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanna do
And
something
then
like that.
this one is for the mail art stuff that I do.
Got
So
it.
I've got a subscription box on Ko-fi that you can get, or
Yes.
subscription envelopes. It's a snail mail club, and those have gotten really
So
popular
cool.
lately. But I'm launching Gumtree graphic stamps next year, so I'm taking all of
Okay.
my stickers, turning the color layers off, making them black and white, and then turning them into rubber stamps.
Oh my gosh. That's so
So
cool.
I've had a bunch of people ask me for them. So
Oh wow. That's so neat. But yeah, as somebody who likes stamping, I'm like, what? um, fascinating. Um, as somebody else is designing my new logo, coming soon. I may do that. I'm not sure if that's going to be a thing or not. Um, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I did mine
Anything
as
else?
my logo as a little stamp that I do on when I'm doing art cards or anything like that. I have a
Mm-hmm.
little tiny stamp with my logo on it
The
that I
behind
use.
you,
It comes in handy. Yeah.
the artwork
So
behind
it's
you.
that logo. So if
Very
I'm
cool.
doing small pieces of art, I have a way to stamp it on the back.
Mm-hmm.
So like this one. And then I sign a
There it
number that,
goes.
yeah.
So let's see. Yeah. Do you want to talk any more about your coffee? I tend to say that. Some people
I
are like,
have
how do you pronounce it?
I usually say Ko-fi because I know there's also another like buy me a coffee
Yeah.
platform or something. I was on
Yeah.
Patreon for a really long time and moved over to Ko-fi because Apple Pay was doing this weird, we're going to charge you an extra 30% thing.
uh,
So I moved to Ko-fi. I ended up becoming
mhm.
a Ko-fi ambassador. So I have my shop. You can get
Wow.
subscribers, donations, your blog. You can post photos. I'll put a photo dump up. Um, Generally once a week, but these days I have to remind myself to stop and take photos. I used to be taking photos of everything. I have lots of stories of, we go out for dinner and I want to take a photo of the food. And my husband's like, "Can I eat? Can I eat now?" Um, Never
I
get
do
it
it
between an
too.
Italian and his cannoli.
I
Uh,
when I remember, I do it too. So it's
yeah,
like, if it's pretty, it's pretty.
yeah. Well, I've gotten to the point
Especially
where
if it
it's
has
like,
edible flowers on or some such
hmm
thing. It's an art.
yeah, I have
It's
to
an
do
art form.
something for Kofi, so that's my excuse now.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I tend to
um,
post pictures of food myself on Instagram,
mhm, yeah,
things I make or whatever. It's
yeah.
like,
He just chimed in. He's like, "Can I eat
what are you
now?"
editing for today? Or I go on walks in the morning, so I sometimes I'll put things seen during my morning walk. Hashtag stat walk.
It's just a nice
Which is
way
for
to
it's an editing.
share little
Yeah,
bits and
bits
pieces
of
of
your
what
life, and it kind of
inspires you.
people like that stuff.
Yeah,
Generally speaking. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, what's I gonna say?
And sorry,
Um,
there's a lot of lag. So if
okay,
I'm
thank you.
talking over you, I'm not meaning to.
Understandable, and there's always something going on in a live stream. And I just have to show this because I think that's funny. Oh, like a nice Italian
He's a good
place. Oh,
sport. He's a good
That's cool.
sport. Nefertiti is our
So
local
my hubby
Mediterranean
too.
place.
So is my hubby and my son, because they're like, "Oh, okay, mom's gonna take a picture right now." Okay.
Half my friends, we all kind of like position our stuff where we want it, and then the whole table takes photos. And it's like, these people get me.
It's like borrowing the flash, right?
Mm-hmm.
Said the former journalist.
But
anyway,
Kofi, I have a snail mail level for $5, and you get a blank greeting card, a sticker, an art card, and a note from me every month. And the $1 level will open up most of my posts. And then I have higher levels and services that are rent amuse, that you can get a 1-hour weekly handhold basically for any project, or there's a more expensive version of it that we go through a project from start to finish and build a framework, and if it's book developmental, that kind of thing. So
it's the general coaching deal. So that's very cool. Very cool. It's always a good idea to have multiple streams of income, right? In the creative field.
Especially now.
Yeah. Yes. When a lot of creative careers people are just wondering certain things about AI. Anyway, we won't go into that.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Seriously, that's a whole other show. So we've talked about what you do, your art, your writing, and another one of your services is you're an editor as well.
I have been a writer, illustrator, and designer for 40 years. I've been full-time freelance for 25 years now. I went back early 40s and got my master's in creative writing. I've been editing since early to mid 90s. Some of the first books that I ever did were technical software manuals because I was learning the software. So I got a gig doing that.
I can relate to this.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But I love doing developmental edits and working with people from the ground up. World building is a big thing for me and my husband. We both teach it online. But it's being able to create something from scratch and then go through, edit it, rough up the ground so things will grow. And I'm pretty ruthless with editing, but I'm not typically a jerk about it. I have friends that get anxiety over doing edits, and so I'm pretty gentle, but I'm definitely I'm not going to pull any punches. So
I know what you mean. I know what you mean completely. And when you're doing it for a friend, you definitely, not everybody uses kid gloves, but
I don't blow sunshine is what I used to tell my daughter. It's like, I will tell you straight up, if you want my opinion, ask. If you don't want it, do not ask me. I have it on my business cards that I'm an instigational motivator. And so telling me you want to do something, do not tell me you want to do something, because I'm going to be like, okay, where do we start? Let's do this.
Yeah, right. And so hey, real quick, what do you do when you have somebody who kind of like doesn't care for some of your advice? Or
so far I've been pretty blessed, but the people I work with,
that's cool.
One of the things, especially as a freelancer, is learning to say no. If it's a project that your heart's not into, it's okay to pass it up.
Yes.
I've done that I've done that, and I've had to do it in the last year on a major IP that was offered to me. They were doing a book line and they wanted me to do book covers. money was really good, but it wasn't a topic that I was interested in. So I chose to offer it to kind of pass on the gig to somebody else that I knew that worked more in that style, just to retain my integrity, because I knew that the work would suffer if my heart wasn't in it. And while it was, a really good paycheck, I'd rather, keep myself intact as far as
Yeah.
my wellness and what I do. So there are some hard lessons in there, but as far as somebody not liking what I was telling them, I'm very big on communication. And if I'm working with somebody, um, I really want to have those deep conversations as far as what they want. And I'll be straight up with them and tell them, um, it might not work in this way. I might cite examples or try to steer them in a different direction, but I usually give them options. Ultimately, it is their decision. Um, it's their project. All I'm there to do is offer my best experiences with it and my advice. Um, and I can pick and choose who I'm going to work with. So if I feel early on that somebody's not going to listen to any advice, I might choose to say no and pass on that gig. If it's somebody that I really enjoy their work, I really want to see it out in the world, and it's something that I can really get my teeth into, then those are the gigs that I usually take on. And I'm, not the end all be all, but unless I'm publishing it, then I get a little more say. But I do encourage people to, tell me if you don't like this, tell me why you don't like this.
Yeah. Right.
And that's the big thing is, give me a reason why
Right.
you're, and if you're not sure, just tell me you're not sure and we'll figure it out together.
Right.
But
Right. I mean, it's like getting critiques where I don't like it and that's all they say. I've been in lots of critique groups where this happened. And I think it was mostly people who are new to writing who do that in general.
I ran a writers group down in Florida for 8 years, and we did mostly creative exercises, but we would do critiques if somebody asked for it. So we would have them bring in copies of their work, and somebody other than them would read it aloud to the group, and we would take turns reading, because everybody has a different way of reading things. Everybody has different reading styles, different cadence, different, what may sound like a certain pacing to you might be read differently. So the person that had written it would be able to take notes, and everybody else in the group, if they weren't reading, could provide feedback to and hand it to them at the end of the session. I've been in critique groups where we go line by line, fine tooth comb with things, and most of the people that I get involved with, I tend to look for people that have already published, they're at a place where I want to be, not somebody that's new. Because if you're taking advice from somebody that's new, where's that going to go? So, if you've got somebody that's published, or you've gotten somebody that's knowledgeable, or an English teacher, or a librarian, or somebody that,
Or
where that level that you want to be at, that's who you look for.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've had a variety of experiences in writers groups and critique groups. So I was trying to pull off of all of that when I used to run I ran a critique group for the Florida Writers Association for several years, and I really enjoyed doing that. So.
Yeah, I was part of. I was actually the event person for FAPA.
2021 hit, and people said, "Well, we're not going to do it." Okay, that's fine.
It just shifted to online.
Yeah, everything went online. So,
Yeah.
yep. You know, and some people didn't want to do that. So it's like, okay, that's fine too. Whatever. But yeah. So yeah, and I can also relate to the cutting your teeth in publishing. Uh, um, my first job in any sort of publishing, I was I was, oh my gosh, I got hired as a proofreader. Um, I use that term kind of lightly because it was more than that. But I worked
I've
at
had those gigs.
it's almost like a book packager, but it's not. No, it's more business to business information, called the Bar Friedman Publishers. And they also publish industry magazines. Nation's Restaurant News, I remember, is one of them. And I helped to put together this one book, and it was a tome of what was it? I don't remember how many pages it was. It was over. I want to say it was over 1,000 pages, but it was huge. Doorstop of a thing, and boy, that was a process.
Uline catalog. It's the Uline catalog.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, that was. Let me tell you, what a first job in publishing I had in 1998. So, and it was the year I hung out my shingle at the suggestion of some folks. So I've been a freelance and full time altogether for over 25 years now, which is blows my mind. So anyway, I can relate to a lot of things you were saying. So yeah, and how things have changed as well. I worked in newspapers for a while, and yeah, very, very different from when we started. But
I worked for
anyway,
the Orlando Sentinel briefly, and
oh wow,
for a
cool.
bilingual Hispanic magazine newspaper, and then did a paranormal magazine with somebody for a while
Oh, cool.
as an art director. And
Oh,
so I've had a lot of jobs that aligned to my goals, aligned to my joy. That's
that's
actually one
awesome.
of the
Yeah, I kind of
couple of the books that I wrote that are about that. But
cool.
my first ever job was in a bookstore, and I was hooked. And my mom couldn't keep me in books growing up, so I always knew I wanted to do something with being an author, illustrator, and publisher. Just kind of seemed the next step in evolution. So
There you go. There you go. Um, okay, what was I going to say? I forgot. I kind of got to listening to what you were saying. Let's see. Yeah, I made several attempts to get jobs at bookstores and library because I'm my maiden name being what it is. But that never actually happened. Just a timing thing. For some strange reason, fate said no. So
libraries are
never
intensely hard to get
that's fine.
into too.
Yes, and yeah, and libraries as well. Yeah, yeah. So you have to have this, that, and the other. But anyway, we're going to wrap things up pretty soon here. So you were saying earlier that of all the things that are coming up for you, and your brick and mortar store,
Mm-hmm.
and you mentioned just a lot of things. Your your coffee.
Coffee.
My brain wants to go to say that both ways because I used to say that a lot during my streams. Anyway,
well, their logo is a coffee cup, so
yeah,
it probably could be coffee, but I know there's a couple other platforms out there, so I'd say that to differentiate.
Yeah, exactly. So looks like a Popper Knight worked in a Walden's book back when it was. Yeah, I remember the Walden bookstores. Yes, as well.
Borders.
Borders, but I did work in retail.
I worked in
Zondervan's,
in the mall, Barnes and Noble, Books A Million. I was paperback manager. which I actually loved because I loved.
Oh, I did work in a bookstore. Excuse me, I am
market.
wrong. I gotta back that up.
And which one did you work at?
It wasn't one of those. It was an independent used bookstore out of the very well known Oldsmar Flea Market. A lot of people, they had a real heyday back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. Sam's used books. So yes, I'm wrong. I did work in a bookstore part-time for a little while, off and on. Yes.
One of the books that just came out.
I'm still there, yay.
One of the books that just came out is by Mary Lou Weiss, and she's teamed up with a friend who is a photographer, and it's Riding Shotgun Wildflower Thoughts. And it's poetry, but it also has botanical photography. And she's got a local bookstore here, Mary Lou's Bookshop, that my husband actually was working in briefly, just when she needed some stock help and that kind of thing. But I love independent bookstores, and I always make it a point on the Dragonfly Press publishing site to post the bookshop.org link for purchasing books, because you can support your own local booksellers, independent booksellers, and they get credit if you tag them, choose them, and you can choose a different one each week if you have more than one. But that way they're getting credit for the orders instead of going through Amazon all the time or the big sellers.
I am going to be popping a link in the chat right now. Yeah, I remember that. Borders and Waldens were co-companies, parent companies. You couldn't transfer. That's
It's kind of like Venmo and PayPal. PayPal owns Venmo, but you can't cross over between the two of them.
Yeah, and I thought I could, and I was all confused about it a couple of years ago. I was like, what the heck? And it didn't, yeah. There we go. Anyway, I've got that link in the chat.
Thank you.
Not a problem. There we go. I wanted to make sure I put that in there. I will, and again, I will put as many links as I possibly can in the description, including this, of course, and as well as some other stuff. Was there anything else you wanted to say before I did my own little outro-y thing?
Sorry, I have a mechanical keyboard, so I mute when I'm typing. So I put the link to the publishing company in chat too. Okay. No, just Renmeleon Online pretty much everywhere, and that's the spelling right there.
M-E-L-E.
All one word. I tell everybody it's because it's short for the Renaissance Chameleon, and I have people that used to call me to thinking I was a pet shop when I originally started. So when I got the domain name, I'd have people asking me if I sold chameleons. They thought I was a lizard breeder for some reason. But I knew most people weren't going to be able to spell Renaissance or chameleon, because I even have to look it up once in a while. It's one of those, if you look at the word too long, it doesn't look right anymore.
When you're editing professionally, you're like, just verify that one more time in my head.
Yeah, it's
or my head.
It's like I use this word every day, and I've stared at it too long, and now it doesn't look right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I shortened it because of the domain name, and it just became synonymous with me, so it's my nickname now. So I go by Ren or Ria, depending on where I'm at. But Renmeleon everywhere. So
yeah, and I have a member of my family goes by a couple different names, so depending on who she's with,
Mm.
That know her by. So yeah, okay. Um, Again, I'm Heather Dewey Pettet, and I let's see, my things coming up are looks like I will be doing a market at my usual place. It's called Felicitas Coffee and Tea House on 51st Street in Temple Terrace, which is very near the USF Tampa campus, right down the street. And literally, so it's a really great, quirky, cool place. Um, I should be going. I should be participating in their market that's happening in early September. More details to come. And then after that, of course, I will be at Necronomicon Tampa the last weekend of September. I'm getting very excited. I will be speaking. I will be in the art show as usual. And so it's a lot of fun. So also in the very near future, I will be featuring guests here on this podcast as per my usual. And I'm very excited to talk to some folks who are going to be guests. Um, some I've known for a little while. And just, I love hanging out with these people. They're really cool, a lot of fun, and very interesting to talk to. I will be popping a link to the website. One moment. Get that in there. But it is necrofl.org. Getting there in there. All right.
I'm hoping we can get me in there next year.
Oh, yes, I was going to say that. I almost forgot. I had you put on the short list as possible guest of honor for next year. So that would be very, very cool if we could meet next year. Possibly.
And I'll have Stalemate out by then.
And you apparently you have been at you have attended and participated in a lot of cons. Real quick, we could talk about that. We have a little time, I guess. And you've been a guest of honor.
I've been a special guest with the Imaginarium for the last 8 years. I've been a sponsor for 8 years. We've been going for 9 years. And I'm a panelist. I moderate panels. The owners are friends of mine, so we've gotten to know them over the years. We've played D&D at their house before.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, but we're pretty ingrained in the event, and it's kind of like Old Home Week. So it's our vacation every year. We go and spend the week, and just we'll go Thursday through Monday. The convention's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Thursday night they do the Marathonium Anthology. We do a 3-hour sprint with one of the owners. So
okay,
my husband's actually involved in the anthology this year, so I'm very happy to have him riding by my side this year for next year's anthology. And it's a lot of fun. There's over 160 panels. There's tea dueling that a friend of ours puts on. That's in the steampunk group.
Somebody did that at Necronomicon
we do a lot
years
of
ago.
stuff.
I was like, what is that?
It's a lot of fun. I actually got second place last year, and I have a little ribbon with a charm on it. But competed again this year. Didn't quite make it. Went up against my daughter, so that was this year. So that was fun. But the panels. They have a film festival. They have film awards. My magazine was actually a finalist this year. And we have umpteen categories. And I got to be a judge for the anthology and for the nonfiction group this year. And I was a costume contest judge. And they have karaoke and a dance party on Saturday night. And it's just, you get to see all your old friends and make new ones. And then we all constantly try and drag more people in with us. So, but it's very informative, very educational. I normally have a table. I've had as many as 3.
Oh my gosh.
And I had one for the fan group because I run the Kentucky Browncoats, which is the Firefly fandom. And I actually took over the global group recently. So I'm overhauling that. But very nerdy group, a lot of writers, a lot of editors, a lot of publishers, very, very creative, inspiring group, game designers, filmmakers, script writers, screenwriters. So
yeah, I mean, this is the same type of folks that Necronomicon has as well, of course. And last year we had filmmakers. I want to say there was a literal couple, and then there was at least one other. Those were filmmakers that are local, and all of that, and comic book publishers and artists, and just all kinds of stuff. And what's really cool about, and I know that Imaginarium is one of the oldest cons.
They're going to be, this is going to be 13 years next year.
13 years at this location.
Next year in Louisville. Yeah.
In Louisville. Okay.
They're the biggest creative convention in the Southeast for what it is.
Okay. Yeah. And then Necronomicon is, let's see, it's the PR person has to say it this way. The longest running fan run convention, SF convention, whatever, in the Southeast. If not, it could be Florida. There's some debate. It's our 45th year. So
that's definitely the longest running that I've heard of. I know.
The convention
I grew up around the Winter Park sidewalk.
But apparently they started actually meeting and started doing things in 1979.
Nice. Yeah, we had, I grew up around the Winter Park Sidewalk Art Festival, and that one I think is in its 67th year.
I've heard about it. Yeah. Okay. I think I've heard about that. So that's cool. That's amazing. Yes, I have heard of it now the more I think about it. But let's see. Gosh, I don't want to stop talking to you. See, this is the part of the interview where I'm like, we stop talking now? You want to give it just 2 more minutes and say our last goodbyes. Okay, so I do have some links in the chat. Renmeleon. I will have a newer, better website coming up in September as well, and it will be hdpedits.com. So looking forward to that. I've got a friend helping me with it, so it's coming along, and it's working on it, but it'll be I could pop it in there, but it's very extremely rough at the moment, so maybe I won't. But it's coming, and it should be ready for, hey, if it could be ready for my birthday, that would make me very happy. Oh yeah, I'm running a stream on my birthday, which is on the 3rd. Okay. So
I'm going to be running a train event for mine.
That's the thing. That's another thing I'll be doing. What's that?
I'm running a train event for mine for the Browncoats.
Oh, interesting.
So you have to come up and go on the train with us in November.
maybe I will also be. I have a lot of things happening this fall. A lot of things as per my usual. So, and then I usually take a short break from editing projects in the summer because of my son, and a lot of times he didn't have summer school, yada yada yada. Um, this might be the last year I do that, so we'll see. Uh, so yeah, okay. I think we're all done with the news stuff and all the links. Would you like to say sayonara and goodbye? And when are you streaming soon? Real quick. Okay.
Actually, I am streaming. What's today? Tuesday. I am streaming tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard for art and making on Twitch. So twitch.tv/Renmeleon. You can find the links on all of my socials and on my site. I do live stream for 2 hours Wednesday night, 2 hours on Saturday at noon. Both are art. And then I do gaming on Monday nights from 6 to 8.
I've attended a couple of each of those at least. So that's fun. Yeah, so everybody knows what I'm doing next. So yeah, I will be having a birthday stream on September 3rd. And I have run sprint streams on my channel in the past. I actually started in 2020 running sprint streams. If not before that, I don't know. Officially, anyway, it was January 6th of 2020. I am also evaluating my schedule, and because I may get back to doing that more often. Anyway, I'm revamping. I'm looking at my schedule and seeing how I can possibly do that again. So I was just talking to Rachel D. Adams today about the AuthorTube spreadsheet. So, anywho, I will leave it at that. And thank you so much for coming, Renmeleon.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you so much. And hopefully I will see you soon. And thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate all the support I've had over the years. And your likes and comments and everything are greatly appreciated. Alrighty, well, have a great night, everybody, and a great weekend. Bye.